Hey, good morning, everybody. I'm here to help you process what's going on in the market today, why the market is facing a little downward bearish pressure futures-wise. So let's get right into it. Yesterday, pre-market, YouTube, I mentioned that the U.S. Treasury Department was going to issue $102 billion worth of U.S. Treasuries to sell this week. That will obviously put downward pressure on the market. I also mentioned the U.S. dollar yesterday. As the U.S. dollar goes up past 102 and goes higher, puts downward pressure on the market. As it heads down to 101, 100, down below that, the market could go and be even more bullish. So what did we see yesterday? The U.S. dollar was at 101.50, shot up to 101.88, right? This morning, the U.S. dollar is at 102.34, even higher than yesterday, up another 50 basis points, which is why that you're seeing downward pressure on the market. Now, what adds to that? There was news about Europe. I'm going to mention a bunch of stocks this morning, but there was news from Europe. Let me just get to that. Treasury, right? European stocks sink off manufacturing PMI numbers. So the DAX was down 1%. The FTSE, which is the UK, was down 0.5%. The CAC, which is France, was down 1%. Euro stocks 50, top 50 stocks in Europe, down 1%. And the AEX down 0.5%. So again, Europe is having a downward effect on the U.S. market. That in conjunction with extra treasuries being sold this week, 102 billion. And the U.S. dollar going up is putting downward pressure on our market. Now, let's just put all this to the side because we knew that Europe was having recessional problems. We knew that China was struggling with their economy and injecting stimulus. However, that never stopped our stock market. Our stock market kept pumping higher, and now we're in the process of earnings for S&P 500 companies. So pay close attention. If earnings beat, and yet the stock goes down, that is not a good sign for our markets. You can look at a stock like JetBlue this morning. They had a decent quarter. They beat earnings, yet they're down 7 to 10% this morning. Understand that their projections, their guidance going out for Q3 was significantly lower. So that's why that stock is getting beat. Also, Norwegian Cruise Lines, similar circumstances, getting extremely beat up off 10%. Remember, cruises have had strong demand, strong inflow lately. I was wondering how that would affect Carnival. Carnival actually popped off Norwegian and then went down. So we're going to talk about a couple different stocks today. China's manufacturing numbers went below 50. When I talk about manufacturing numbers going below 50, that tells me recession could be likely. So China's manufacturing numbers came in 50.5, estimate was 50.3. They came in at 49.2, which is over 1% lower than expectations. And for China to miss, that's pretty surprising. Earnings today, we've got AMD on tap, Starbucks, Uber, which already reported, Pfizer, which reported and beat, JetBlue, which I previously mentioned, and Pinterest. These are all companies that I am watching today. Yesterday, I made $8 yesterday. I was down for most of the day. The point is, we want to avoid staying red when we're in a trade. Now, here's my problem yesterday. I was in a stock. The algos were going against me. I mentioned this previous. The algorithms were going against me. I believed I was going to be right. I believed the market would pop and take my stock up with it. With that said, end of day, when the market popped, I had another chance to exit my position, and I chose not to. Now, one of the reasons I chose not to exit my position is because my 3 positions from Friday that I exited and secured profit on Friday popped on Monday. It was Plug, Net, and Affirm. Affirm went up 10%. Plug went up 11%. My account would have been up 100% overnight from Friday to Monday. So I came and I started saying, well, I don't like holding overnight because the bad things can happen. Good things would have happened. And this morning, the fact that I chose to hold overnight instead of taking that pop yesterday makes me a little weary, a little upset about myself. With that said, we're going to talk about the SPY. I think we're up to the SPY ranges right now. So yesterday, I showed you guys my SPY chart, and I'll go in so you can see it a little better. Let me just tilt it the right way. Okay, so here are your dark pool levels in the SPY. 463, 460, 458, 21, which is a ghost zone. If you notice yesterday's high, 458.16, which I have right there next to it, high on Monday, you'll see that we rejected the ghost zone. Understand the next level down on the ghost zone is right here, 455.77. So we haven't hit that this morning, and there's a $26 billion volume at that level. So I'm assuming that 455.77 will most likely act as support. Also, you have to understand institutional investors, big banks, hedge funds, they like to invest the first 10 minutes of the day, they're buying and selling whatever stocks they're buying. And the last 10 to 15 minutes of the day, they're buying and selling whatever stocks. So as the market tanked towards close yesterday and then spiked right back up in the last 10 minutes, that told me institutional investors were still putting money into the market. They are still buying the dips. So what do we see overnight? We see futures dipping. Some of your stocks might be down 3%, 4%, 5%. Now, again, if there's more speculative plays, it might make sense. But if you're talking about big name, big tech, big cap companies, I would have to think going into today that institutions are going to continue to buy the dip. Again, I'm looking at the supply levels on the SPY at 455.77, 453.32, 38 billion there. So if we were going to go down today, I think on the low end, okay, give you my prediction, 454 is going to be the low. This is your bear case scenario. 454 the low, which would make 457.50 the high. Okay, your bull case scenario is we're going to go right under that 455.77 supply zone. So 455, maybe 50. And if 455.50 is the low end, then we're going to see 458.50 on the high end. And since we close at 457.80, we'll actually be green at some point during the day. So again, I happen to think at some point during the day, yeah, we're going to be green. I happen to think institutions are still buying the dip. Mentioned the $102 billion. Jobs report, 8:30 this morning. More importantly, ADP numbers coming out tomorrow. Thursday, jobs and productivity, ISM numbers. And Friday, we have non-farm payroll. So again, jobs. I mentioned what I was looking at yesterday. I mentioned my watch list, and we'll get into that, and then I'll talk about some stocks this morning. Watch list yesterday, top of my watch list, Meta. Meta extremely beat up. Meta down to what, $318. It's probably off this morning. I'm actually curious to see if it's following the futures trend this morning. Let's just see where Meta is. META. Yeah, it is. Okay, we're at 316. Nope, 315 and change this morning. Why is that a surprise? Because yesterday, as Meta was dipping and there was selling going on, there were people accumulating. There was influence of the stock, meaning people were paying the ask as Meta was dropping. They're paying the ask. They were aggressively entering the stock. Then I looked at, okay, let's bring up Discord and see if that's still the case. Let me share it, add to stream. Okay, so what I was talking about is I wanted to look at not only the net flow for Meta, and we'll go back 5 days and we'll just see. But we'll look at the big flow as well. All right, so we're looking at the net flow of Meta. We know that it shot up here. Calls, puts, right? Premiums are still negative for both. Fact that we're here, I actually saw a ton of activity. Let's just see if I can find that. The sweeps, maybe it was the golden sweeps. I want to help you guys out. Okay, Baba sweeps yesterday morning. What are they getting into? Crowd, Microsoft, D-Dog, Apple, AMD. Remember, AMD has earnings today. Square, more Baba, more Coin, more Caterpillar. Caterpillar had earnings. Coin, negative. Okay, I'm not really seeing what I was looking for, but there was a ton of Meta activity yesterday that was bullish. They went out almost like leap years. They went out 6-8 months in the options that I saw, which tells me they're thinking obviously Meta is a better long-term. 315 on Meta. I guess I would be staying away from that. The Qs are probably getting beat up as we speak. So as far as what I'm thinking today, I'm just going to check this out. 50, 80, $1.43. Downside 455.83 on the SPY. Again, key dark pool level on the SPY, 455.83. Let's actually see if the dark pool levels changed or increased at all. So we'll do DP levels, and we'll look at the SPY DP level. Okay. And they have changed. That's pretty significant that they've changed. Okay, so let's actually take down the new levels, which is really important. Hopefully you all can watch this with me and see this with me. And I'll explain which each of these levels. Usually the dark pool levels incorporate over 50% of trading activity in our market. So more than 50% of trading happens off market that we don't know about. So here's the dark pool levels, and you can look them up for any of your stocks, and you can see where your stocks might find support or resistance. So again, I mentioned the dark pool level yesterday, 455.77. It's now moved down to 454.44. So now, rather than expecting the market to bounce right at the level it's at pre-market, down, what is it down pre-market? It's down 0.42%. I actually think that there's a chance that we go down to 454.44, which is this dark pool level right here. And then you can see all the dark pool levels go up and down at about $2 ranges. All right. So you're looking to see a very narrow range today. If I was going to guess the range on the SPY today, I would say 4 points and under, meaning you're not going to see a drop from wherever it closed yesterday, 457.80. 4 points on that would be 454.80. So I'm actually thinking 454.80, 454.44, which is the dark pool level. Someplace in between there will act as support for the market if the market decides to buy the dip, which it's been doing for a number of months. We're only, 6% away from all-time highs. The Nikkei, the Japanese market, is 4% away from all-time highs. The DAX is 2% away from all-time highs. So even though all of these markets drew back a little overnight, again, they're pretty close to all-time highs. So I wanted to look at TR. Let's look at, Top flow from yesterday. Top flow. Now this will tell me the most active options from yesterday. So here we go. And this is what I was talking about when it comes to the top flow. Although it's going to take some time, the only thing they were buying yesterday were Meta. Now, on the Meta options, they were going out 6 months, 8 months, January 2025. I mean, they were going out some time. Palantir hit 20 yesterday. I'd mentioned that. But again, a pullback wouldn't be surprising. You're looking at tech, K-Web pullback, Microsoft, UAL's on there. I'm in UAL. See, that was my problem yesterday. I knew UAL was on the list, and I said to myself, well, I still think airlines are going to go up. I had 2 opportunities to get out, and I said to myself, you know what? You're on such a great roll lately. Just stick with your gut. Your gut's going to be right. Meanwhile, the flow and algorithms were telling me get out, secure profit, break even is a good exit point. You can attack them again tomorrow. You could be wrong. But then I was looking at Boeing. I was looking at Carnival. I was looking at Wynn Casino. I was looking at some other Dow plays like Caterpillar, like Uber. And I was saying all these stocks seem to have some support. You know what, Matt? If the market goes up, and Starbucks looked negative as well, but Starbucks had earnings coming out today. But Starbucks, they were buying up Starbucks, and I expected Starbucks. So I was kind of using different trackers, and I said, you know what? I'm going to be right. Dow's going to bounce back. I could be wrong. I have in 2 trades. I have 25 successful trades in a row. I have 2 trades that expire Friday, Moderna and UAL. They're both off 0.5% this morning. I bought in towards the low on the day yesterday, which I felt pretty good about it. And yeah, I thought pretty good about my Moderna. I wanted to get $800 for my $483 option, call option. And again, Moderna has earnings later this week, so it's not unlikely that Moderna could pop, and I might hold that option and be a little risky. Again, I'm only in for $483 on that option. What else we got? Oh, yeah. Good morning. Yeah. Hit that like button, inside bar on the daily. So, yeah, if you like what I do, please hit that inside bar button. You guys have any questions? Inside bar on the daily for Meta. Yeah, I mean, Meta could definitely drop and further, which will kill the Qs. And so we'll see how that plays out. Yeah. Good morning. Hey, everybody. Okay. So let's just get back to my watch list. Let's ignore the SPY right now. What are I talking about? Norwegian Cruise Lines off 10%. Now, do I think that's going to drop more than 10%? Probably not. I was watching it pre-market. I saw it drop to 19.02 and get bought up pretty quickly right to $20. So if I was going to look at Norwegian Cruise Lines, and again, a trade like this or, a trade in Carnival, you're really looking to buy out maybe leap years, maybe go out till January, something safe, any type of Dow plays, airlines. I'm watching Disney. So Disney had strong, good flow yesterday. I made some money with Disney. Saw a spike up. However, Disney's flat this morning. So Disney's one of the stronger Dow stocks. The fact that it's flat pre-market tells me to be cautious. As far as Dow stocks go, while other things are off 0.5%. I still can't decide whether I want to exit out on open and repurchase maybe an hour into the day, possibly saving myself 20-25%. The only problem with that is if we dip at open and I get out and I'm not quick enough to get back in before that spike comes, I'll be chasing. So again, I really have to think that out. I will share my intentions with Discord when I shoot my Discord video. Looking at SoFi had a big pop yesterday. Obviously, there's going to be some of a drawback. Oh, I wanted to talk about Tupperware. Now, I mentioned I would stay the hell away from TUP, Tupperware. But if you look at Tupperware, I think it's up 400% this month. It's popping probably another 80 or 90 cents this morning. Now, here's the thing. I looked at the short interest, and I hadn't been paying that much attention to the short interest, but the cost to borrow against Tupperware is ridiculously high. The valuation, which is probably $24 million, I think they're up to like, what, 200. Let's see, Tupperware. Let's just give you some real factual numbers. I hate to bring stuff up. All right, Tupperware is at $5.37 pre-market. It was up $1 yesterday, which is 40%. It's up 25% today, which is more than $1 again. The market cap is $190 million right now. Meaning, before Tupperware started this run, where it was, I think it was 48 cents per share, something like that. Now it's $5.40 a share. So you're talking about a return of over 1,000%, which is just crazy. So I'd be careful. But if they keep squeezing Tupperware, who's to say it's not like the meme stock that can run like AMC or like GameStop did in 2021. Right now, I know the shorts are getting screwed. I know those that are putting it to the shorts are really happy about it, and they are going to keep pushing this stock up like they're doing pre-market, even though the rest of the market seems to be struggling. This meme stock has strong support this morning. Of course, if I was in a meme stock at 8 a.m. when I saw the stock up 25% and I'm trading on Robinhood or whatever lets you trade at 8 a.m., I would get out. However, you have to assume the big money is going to push that stock higher. I didn't want to mess around with it. That's just my personal opinion. So what stocks did I mention? I mentioned BABA yesterday. Anything under 100, I was looking to get in. I thought I could run up to 106. It's obviously having issues. This morning, it's back to 150 cents. So would I look to get in under 100 again? I would look to get in if I saw the same dip that I saw yesterday and thought that tech would bounce higher. I'm seeing support on Amazon, whereas when we look at Meta this morning pre-market, it's selling off. And people might say, well, how are you seeing support on Amazon? Amazon's probably down 1/3%, right? Yeah, it's down 1/3%. But even though this chart to me looks somewhat bullish, and it's just futures, but I've heard some things about Amazon and investors going into Amazon now. They're only down 0.22%, whereas Google's down 0.65%, Microsoft down 0.62%. So they're down 3 times what Amazon is down. What else? Apple 0.26. So Apple, Amazon, kind of the strongholds. Starbucks finally turned negative for pre-market. Gold is beat up. Coinbase. The Ripple. Let's talk about what happened to Coinbase yesterday after hours. It went from $97, $98, all the way down $92. Federal judge denied the Ripple claim. They said that Ripple wasn't a security, so that it could be traded freely, and the federal judge reversed that or came up. So that's why it dropped. Coinbase dropped after hours. China's struggling again. China was started up, then finished down. So I'm sure BABA, NEO. Let me look at PDD. I'm sure PDD is probably off 2.5% this morning. 2.81%. Again, when you're looking at things as stocks, always make a guess. I want to see Baidu. I think Baidu could be off more than these stocks. So I'm going to see if Baidu's off 3%. Nope, less actually. Okay, less than 1%. So again, I might say something like, if I thought the market was going to tank today, I might place some puts on Baidu at open, thinking that it might catch up to a 3% clip where I expect everything else to drop. The other thought process is I could wait for the morning dip, whether that's 950, 1020, 1050 at the worst, and buy the dip because that's been working for a number of months. That's what I've been doing until it doesn't work. If I get screwed out of my latest 2 positions And my next position of buying the dip, let's say this morning, let's say Amazon drops, I buy the dip and Amazon goes lower, I might get rid of that strategy, the buy the dip strategy. With that said, 8:50 a.m. If you like what I do, thumbs up. Please join me on Discord. Make sure you're using flows and algorithms. If it's not our Discord, make sure you're using flows and algorithms, the same information that institutions are using. In this difficult market, you must see where big money is going because it's going to help you trade better. With that said, please join me tomorrow. Have a great, safe trading day, everybody. Bye now.